And we're going to allow Malik Aziz from Dallas, Texas, to introduce himself.
Last 21 years, very close to it, the Dallas Police Department, and prior to that I was with the Dallas Sheriff's Office. In my capacity in 5 years, I held command over a division which was the Northwest Division, which is similar to Fayetteville, about 200,000 folks in my division, people. Very dynamic place, very diverse, about 50 square miles or so, and mirroring Fayetteville, entertainment districts and hotels and economic corridor, a city within a city is what I would like to call it. My current capacity, I am the resident commander of SWAT and traffic, K-9 mounted helicopter, tactical operations, special events planning. In my current capacity. So, in other words, any major incident would go down in Dallas, that's where you'll find me in emergency response situations. I'm honored to be here in the city of Fayetteville, knowing that it's one of the greatest places in the United States. It's been ranked as so as one of the best places to live, and I've seen nothing short of that. So, I'm really interested in hearing what questions that you have and interacting with you. Joining your community.
Very quickly, I'll share with you just some of my experiences. The 23 years I've spent with Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police, and I'll really talk about the last 5 or 6 years for you. I, 5 years ago, was assigned as the Deputy Chief of Police over patrol operations for the southern half of Mecklenburg County, about 200 square miles and about 700 police officers that turn my hair gray on a regular basis. In the last 24 months, I have served in the office of the Chief of Police, and I was the Chief, I call it Chief Party Planner, but I was actually the security planner for the Democratic National Convention that was held in Charlotte. So for the last 24 months or so, we planned that operation, ran it with great help from Fayetteville PD that came to help us, and now we're on the back end of that trying to pay the bills that go along with that. So I'm thrilled to be here with you today, and I look forward to hearing some of your questions.
What would you do to help bring down the numbers of repeat offending drug drivers in our city, and also drug driving fatalities, because it continues to be a problem here?
The simple fact is our officers have to be concentrated at the times of day, days of week where we know drunk drivers are most likely to operate, and we send a very clear message to the community that that kind of behavior is not tolerated.
Yeah, and man, it goes together. Currently I command the DWI squad as part of traffic division, and I have a DWI unit under me who goes out every single day, arresting people enforcing the law on DWI law, so to say. My relationship with Matt goes back further. We have a great relationship back home in Dallas, Fort Worth.
Do you believe that there's a role for business to play in partnering with the police department in crime prevention? And if so, could you provide an example?
The police department goes hand in hand with any city that plans on being vibrant on the sea 5 or 10 or 30 years down the road, then we must embrace the business community. And that means providing a safe environment for companies to come in, because they won't build or they won't grow in places where they perceive that their employees or people will not come if it's a crime involved. Second, yes, in my previous assignment, I built those business relationships with hotels, with chains, national chains, with community leaders who wanted grocery stores inside of neighborhood cities that built up infrastructure, and we understood the common ground along with city leaders, city council members who understood that focus, and business leaders or upstart business people who wanted to start businesses or have small businesses grow, not just the large ones. But yes, the police department plays a vital role in economic development.
Yes, absolutely. And I'll tell you, business associations are critical to crime prevention. I hate to be short and sweet with this, but I'm just going to tell you straight to the point. We have to work together to reduce crime in the business areas along the business corridors. Once we reduce crime or prevent crime, the economic development naturally goes up.
And I would like to know, what initiative would you bring to our community to help build the bridges?
I think the main thing for what I would bring to this city right away, we have a philosophy that we have put in place in Dallas, and it was 10-70-20. And what it is that 10% of our citizens are engaged in active crime fighting. 70% are non-engaged, and 20% of the people are actually out there committing criminal activity. In order to bridge that gap, that I've seen it work, and I've implemented it at least 5 times in my own division, and that is to embrace that terminology and that perspective, to go out, survey a community, talk with the citizens out there for what they see and what they have specific intel, and direct those officers to the correct spot and the direct times, at the exact times, at the right locations that the citizens say this is occurring.
So strengthening the partnerships between the police department and building collaborative partnerships to address crime, quality of life issues, and that requires you to get to know me and my staff, and me to get to know you and your neighbors. And then we begin to identify and discuss those issues that are most concerning to you in your neighborhood, and we address them together.
Gentlemen, welcome to Fayetteville. I'm Tim Dunn. I've lived here all my life, except for a stint in the Marine Corps. And my family, my wife's family, has been here since the Revolutionary War, so welcome. What I want to ask you is, you serve at the pleasure of that gentleman right there. And that gentleman right there serves at the pleasure of the City Council. I read this in the paper lately, and the City Council sometimes are having some challenges. Are you going to be able to cut through the political BS and do your job and do what we need to do in the city to reduce crime?
The answer to the question is yes. I'm a cop. I've been doing this business for a long time, and while the concerns of councils and commissions are concerns to every community, they're not unique to one community. I've been involved in similar situations throughout my career. The fact is, no matter what my rank, I'm a cop. We're going to deal with crime and quality of life issues for this community.
I would like to believe that, from what you said, that there's always a way. I believe in the cans, not the cans. I don't focus on a lot on what we can't do, but what we can do. And I think we have more in common on the cans than taking one thing out of a barrel of 10 and saying, let's regress. I believe in progression. So I would look to find ways with the city council that we see common ground. I would like to believe that you elected them because they want a progressive city. And so if they want a progressive city, then we found common ground together. And I'm just like Harold here. I'm just a cop.
There's a perception in Fayetteville about racial profiling, and I'm wondering what is your take on that?
The best way to combat racial profiling is transparency. Transparency that is coupled with an openness for the communities in which we serve. And without that, we won't break down those barriers, because it's easy to say something, or it's easy to misinterpret facts, or it's easy for us to become defensive on facts that are presented. But if I don't know you, I can't break down a barrier. I first have to know you. That means getting in the community where you stay, understanding what we do. We offer many things in many police departments, including Fayetteville, that would enable you to understand law enforcement on a greater level, and you offer me something I can't get, and that is a perspective of people who live in a neighborhood in which I may not reside.
Chief Aziz hit it right on the head. Transparency, you know what we do and how we go about it as police officers. And then I think also great documentation, the kind of record keeping that we should be involved in all of our traffic stops and all of our encounters. And I think that there is, again, I can present you with a lot of information, documentation, record keeping, but if you don't trust me, you're not going to believe anything I show you. And so it's all about building those relationships and building that trust.
If you gentlemen have had a chance to look at the statistics for Fayetteville And if so, what stands out to you as challenges that we need to address with the police department?
The things that concern, all crime concerns me, but I certainly pay real close attention to the violent crime. I think that there are some strategies that we can employ to begin to bring some of that down. There are investigative groups that we can use to begin to deal with gun violence. And I know that the department has a task force standing up. I've done some things in the last 4 years that has caused gun violence to go down in Charlotte-Mecklenburg. Believe it or not, it's actually gone down. I think what we have to do is constantly compare ourselves to the numbers from last year, and we should always strive to beat those numbers. And
I see you have a very big problem with property crime, which is not unlike any other city. And I bring up, various tools from the tool chest to combat either of those issues. But I will tell you, we're going to focus on gangs, guns, and drugs, because those directly affect your quality of life and expect the viability of our neighborhoods. I have what I call a strategic triangle on persons, places, and behaviors. And once we remove one from that triangle, then we can affect crime. So you're going to find in my direction where you see gangs, incapacitating. You're going to find me where you see drugs, incapacitating. And you're going to find me where you see guns, incapacitating that.
I have an extremely difficult decision in front of me. Either one of these gentlemen would make an excellent police chief in probably any city in America. Please give them a warm round of applause.